Welcome to Growing Faith Resources. I'm Katie, a certified Christian educator, and I'm here to help you figure out what's going to work best for your congregation. Today we're going to be talking about the Young Children's Leaders Guide from a curriculum called Follow Me: Biblical Practices for Faithful Living. So let's take a look. Before we dive into this leader's guide, let's talk about the whole curriculum, Follow Me: Biblical Practices for Faithful Living. So this curriculum is based on practices, things that Jesus did, taught, or told us to do. And so we study the Bible through this lens of practices. So this is a curriculum that is unit-based, so each practice is its own self-contained unit, and we have 36 of them for you to choose from. So this curriculum also has something for every single age in your congregation, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. And the best way to do that is to watch some of the other videos that we have on this channel about Follow Me. So I'll try to link a few of them for you in the description below. So now, let's take a look at this Young Children's Leaders Guide. In the Young Children's Leaders Guide, this is a leader's guide for children ages 3 to 5. And so there's a lot of helpful information in here, including a Follow Me overview, a unit overview, practicing the practice at home, detailed session plans, and a foundational essay. So let's talk about each of those pieces in more detail. Inside the Young Children's Leaders Guide, you'll find a lot of helpful information. The first thing you're going to see is the Follow Me overview. This is a helpful page that kind of summarizes what Follow Me is. So this is great if this is the first time you're using this curriculum, or if you just need a refresher about what the curriculum's all about. The second page you're going to see has a whole bunch of helps for the leader. So there's activity symbols and a key that defines what each of those activity symbols mean. And these activity symbols you're going to find next to each activity in the session plan, and it gives you a good idea of what kind of activity it is, right? We've also included information about supplies and some standard supplies that we think you should have, in addition to what we'll suggest in each of the session plans. We'll also talk about using flyaway picture books and how we integrate those into our curriculum. And then we have a note about accommodating all children. So a lot of times the activities in our curriculum have adaptations that you can use that we threw in. But every once in a while you're going to come across a situation with a child where you need to make some more modifications. And so we have a note here that kind of helps guide you as you start thinking about doing that. The next section that you're going to see is the unit overview. So this is information about the specific practice that you're studying. So you're going to learn about what is this practice. You're going to see where it's found in the Bible, and how do young children connect with this practice? What are they going to take away from this? The final section you're going to see in this beginning part of the curriculum is practicing the practice at home. And this is a take-home sheet for families. This is also something you'll find in the congregational guide, which you can learn more about in this video that I'll link in the description below. It's a two-sided sheet, and it's ways that the family can practice this practice at home and explore it further. So there are discussion starters, which are great for families to ask questions and wonder about without having to worry about having the right answers. And there's all different kinds of activities that they can do, some very, very simple and some more complex. Things like going gleaning or taking some kind of field trip, but also simple things they can do in their home. Maybe looking over memories or asking questions about stories that are part of your family's history, right? So all of these things are great for our families to use. And this kind of concludes the beginning section of the Young Children's Leaders Guide. Let's talk about the session overview. So each session has a session overview, and this is a summary page that talks about what's in this session. There's a goal, a prayer, those activity symbols again, and then there's also a preparation section. This is going to help you as the leader figure out if there's anything you need to do ahead of time that's extra. So let's dive into the actual session plan itself. So once we do that, you're going to notice that there are a few pieces that are going to be really helpful for you as the leader. So there are supplies listed by each activity in the sidebars. These are helpful because you now know which activities need what supplies. And so if you decide to not do an activity, you know which supplies you don't need to worry about getting. And if you use an activity, you know exactly what supplies you need for that activity and you can have it at the ready. There's also some asterisks that you're going to see, which those are your teacher helps. So if there's an adaptation for a specific activity or some other tip while you're for doing this activity, or maybe you're adjusting how difficult or how easy it is, it's going to be in that asterisk. So definitely keep an eye out for those and make sure you get a chance to read them. Now let's talk about the session flow itself. I love these session plans. They have a great flow to them. You begin with the getting started section, which is your gathering time. And it also opens with a ritual, and you use the same ritual through the whole unit. Then you introduce the practice. And so this kind of lets children know, what is this practice that we're studying? What do we call it? How do we define it? What is it? Then we find the practice in the Bible. And we're looking for, where do we see this in the Bible? Who talks about it? Who does this practice in the Bible? Why is this practice important? Next up, you'll have finding the practice all around us. And this is where we look at where we see the practice today. Do we see it in our families, in our churches, in our neighborhoods, in our world? Where do we see it showing up? Can we notice that? Then we get to practice the practice, which is where we actually try out this practice, almost like we're putting on new clothes. Then our final section is the following Jesus section, which is just our blessing and sending. We're going out into the world, taking this practice with us so that we can spread it to everyone that we meet. The final thing you'll notice about the session plan is that it has resource pages. Now these can be in black and white or full color, and there may be a different number of them for each session. It just depends on what that session needed. You can photocopy these for your participants. You can send them electronically to your participants. For the Young Children's Leader's Guide, you will always have an adapted Bible story. And it's the same adapted Bible story that you'll see in the children's worship leaflets, which we talked about in our congregational guide video. So this is a great way to approach the Bible with young children because the adapted Bible story is going to be a lot easier for young children to understand than necessarily reading out of the Bible. Some of our other children's leaders' guides will read out of the Bible, but for young children, we will always have that adapted Bible story. The final piece of the Young Children's Leader's Guide is the foundational essay, and this is in the very back of the Leader's Guide. This is there simply just for more information for the leader on the practice. So each of these essays was written by a biblical scholar, and they do a great job of diving deep into this practice so that you can really understand it. They talk about where it comes from in the Bible. They talk about the different aspects or dimensions that you're going to be studying with these young children. And so it's great background information, and it's really easy to read. So I hope that you'll take the opportunity and get a chance and dig it out and take a look, because it's going to make you feel very prepared as you're going in to talk about and lead this practice with young children. This concludes our information on the Young Children's Leader's Guide. If you'd like to learn more, there's a couple of places where you can go to do that. The first is our website, www.pcusastore.com/followmecurriculum. There is so much helpful information there. You can download the sampler, which is actually going to contain a session of the Young Children's Leader's Guide. But there's also more information about it on our website. We have a specific page dedicated specifically to this resource that you may want to check out. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can see the other videos we're going to be continuing to put out on Follow Me, and other resources and other videos that you may find helpful in your ministry and your congregation. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that you don't miss any of these videos that are going to be coming out. Finally, I want to say thank you for watching, and God be with you.